Hello everyone, Instructor Chris here at Dow Peace Martial Arts to do another Coach's Corner. Today we're just going to talk a little bit about siblings and fighting with your brother and sister and the arguments that tend to happen. And we as adults call that sibling rivalry or just everyday occurrences. So when we look at kids not getting along, it's very much like when adults don't get along. Sometimes we don't take the time to find out what the other person really wants because we feel attacked. So I start off with a bit of a story. You know, I have two sisters. They're both older than me. I was the baby of the family, if you can imagine. And my sisters and I, we got along. We didn't get along. It was the whole gamut. And my oldest sister and I often fought. And I remember one time when the parents were away and she was left in charge as the head babysitter, and she asked me to finish off my dessert, which I didn't want to eat. We got into a big fight over it, and then she ended up locking me out of the house, which wouldn't seem so bad if you're in a fight to get locked out. That's not a big deal. But it was February and there was about 10 feet of snow outside and it was about minus 25. So little Christopher was in a fight for his life, running around to all the doors in the house that I thought might be open through reams and reams of snow in my bare feet and my pajamas. It was a good thing that my other sister, Donna, had some compassion and empathy and wasn't hot-headed at that point, and she let me in the back door. So my oldest sister, Nancy, and myself, we didn't get along, and it wasn't until my mom asked me to actually say, stop putting it on your sister, stop blaming your sister for not getting along. Why don't you try and get along? And maybe just start off by telling her that. So one day when I was quite a bit older, I think this is way too late to do this, but start whenever you can. But I was probably about 16 or 17 and I went up and said, hey, I want a truce. I want to get along well with you. How can we do this? And we talked, and my mom gave me some pointers, and basically when I started to get into an argument with her, I would just ask her, what does she want? What does she need? What can make this better? And then I would just listen to her. And even if I didn't agree with her, it was just the fact that I was listening to her and I wasn't rebelling and yelling and being, sarcastic or whatever, that she started to actually want to get along as well. And we're good buds now. So it's a great thing to try and get along with your brothers and sisters. And if you don't have any, if you're on your own as a child, then you always have friends which become like your brothers and sisters. And sometimes we get into disagreements with them as well. So the old saying, if you're in an argument, just stop, is a good advice, because arguments really tend to cause a lot of pain, both between the two people, but also with people who are in the same house, that it causes a lot of anxiety and tension. So next time, it's really simple. Just practice your sister is yelling or screaming at you because you borrowed something and didn't put it back, and then just look at her and say, hey, I'm sorry, what is it that you need? I got the feeling you need me to put your stuff back, and I can do that, my apologies. Or it could be, I didn't borrow it and I know what you need is you need your stuff back. Can I help you look for it? These ways of just asking the other person, what is it that you want? What is it you need? Without being sarcastic, without having an elevated voice or yelling or ignoring them, goes a long ways to really making a great friend out of your brother or your sister. No need for rivalry. Have a great day. Take care. Namaste.